All right, sorry about that. Gee, I don't, that took a weird turn, didn't it? All right, so where are we? Let's get going here. Let's get going. So much going on out there today. Good morning. No, I don't have a chart up yet. Just bear with me. I don't know how this happens every morning. I really don't. There was so much news going on. There was so much to do this morning. It was crazy. All right, so cool. There we are. Boom. Who's a winner? I am. Who's got charts up? There. All right, where's the bonding? Got a bond. Camera. Go to settings. Click the bonding button. All right, we are bonding. All right, let's click that. We'll go from there. Okay. There we are. We're bonding. Boom. Who's bonding? We are. Why does it do that? It used to be perfect, right? It used to be like the whole screen. No, it's not. I wonder if I have to squeeze that down. Does that do it? There we go. Boom. Then I just move that there. Okay. Who's figuring things out? I am. All right. Couple things. Why are you? Can I turn that? I can turn that. But now you can't see, like my head's cut off by this thing. It's absolutely infuriating. There you go. I can sit in the hole and then you can see my head. And then I can drop, let me just drop this to here. And then we'll just, you figure after 25 years, I'd have my screen set up properly, right? Every day's a blessing. Every day, just another blessing. This doesn't work, a blessing. All right, let's get to it. So a couple of things. I'll try not to laugh, but the halvening is coming, and we all need to be aware of the halvening. The halvening just means that these companies are going to make half of what they once made. So I don't really view that as a good thing. Let's pull this down. I don't really view that as a good thing for these companies, but for whatever reason, people think that they should still go up because they're going to make half the money that they once made. But okay. I pretty much think that's a fork in the nail for, like fork, stick a fork in it, I guess is the saying. I really think that they have major problems now. The earnings are never going to be better than they once were. I actually think people are going to look for less Bitcoin, not more Bitcoin because of this. That's just my opinion. I'm going to pull this up too so I can see what's going on here. We'll go from there. But I think people are going to look for less Bitcoin, not more. I'd watch yesterday's video just so you can get a sense of what's going on out there. There's a lot of moving parts, in my opinion, on what's happening. In regards to some of the other names that are moving, There's a lot going on out there. And I think that what we're seeing more than anything is we're seeing China weakness. And I don't truly think that we're seeing the full drop of China weakness yet, is my opinion, just looking at this market. But we'll get into that in a bit. Most important for us is just to kind of look at what's going on out there and go, okay, well, what's the right move for us, right? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on ES. I think it's pointless right now, unless you're day trading it. You know where you are, right? I mean, you know where you are. We're far from frothy. I think even we had Dalio come out and say a couple things about it. I got into it last night in last night's video as well. But you're far from frothy. The issue is this. It's just like, this is not sustainable. Like it's just not. Eventually, you always want to clone these. Always clone them, okay? Because it tells you where your trend line is and where your trajectory is. But you always want to clone those, right? So once you clone them, you can take a look at, really what's going on in the world and how that's playing out. But why do you clone them? Well, you clone them because you want to see what's going on. Now, for me, that's pretty clear what's going on there, right? All right. So eventually you're going to fall out of that. And the question is, when? Like, rising wedges end in tears. It's just a question of when. So it's definitely something that's on my radar, but I'm not really adding a ton of value by saying, okay, let's look at the wedge. So then you go and go, okay, well, how can I add value? And then you go and start looking at these, right? And I think this does add value because here, let me show you. So if we start looking at this move that happened in March and we start looking at just these, this is the 8, the 5, and the 3, and I have it over just over the same day, over 6.5 hours, it's calculated. But I find it very useful. So like these are calculated off of 6.5 hours of trading, but obviously the ES is open more, but I find it very useful because it tells me things ahead of time and you can actually see the waves and when the best opportunities are and when they're not. It doesn't mean you act on this based upon what you're seeing here. And that's not how I use it. I use it like, do I want to be long? Am I feeling warm and fuzzy about being long? Yeah, I'm feeling warm and fuzzy. Are you feeling warm and fuzzy? No, I'm not feeling warm and fuzzy. Oh, they're all aligned, warm and fuzzy, not warm and fuzzy, right? That's all. That's how I'm using it. It doesn't mean that I buy here, sell there, right? Because that would you'd get whacked. But if you look at it, it's pretty good about telling you when to be in the market, when to be out of the market. All right. Now overlay that with the SPY. Watch this. Okay. Come on, work with me, not against me. You're making me look bad. And let's go here, put on regular hours, and let's just drop this in. Okay. And then you go here and you look at it on regular hours, and you can see you've never really broken it yet since you flipped the 8, right? So you're still really aligned on the SPY. You really haven't broke it, but using it with the ES tells you more of the nuances on what's going on, when these little peaks might happen and valleys might happen, because it trades over a longer period of time. But if we look at it from this perspective, you look just fine. And so on these dips down, so you might get a dip to like, a level. And then if you do, you take advantage of it, right? That's what we're focused on. But you can do this with anything. So you could take a look at the stocks and you'd be crazy to say, well, that surely can't drop. But when you realize that you are, like, just to put it in perspective, off your 3-day average, you're 2% off your 3-day average. Like that's a lot. That's a lot for to be off. Like, you're very rarely are you off 3% from an average. I mean, if you took the peak here to here, you're going to find like anomalies like that, but they never last, right? You always are going to revert to some kind of mean. It's just the way that it is. You're not going to see this a lot. So you could even go and say, well, I don't care about the 3. Okay, well, just do a percentage off the 5. Like, you're going to see like outliers like that, like 6% off the 5. It won't last. You always will revert to it eventually, right? That doesn't mean you're going to drop, but it does mean you could go sideways. So even when you see it here, you're like, okay, well, there's 4%. Right. And then you look here and you're like, I'm just taking the extremes, 4%. All right. So you take this peak from here and you go to here and go, okay, well, that's 5%. Well, every 4% correction, I just showed you what's happening, right? You're coming back down. So you're not going to come back down on a 5% correction. It's kind of silly to think that that's not going to happen. You're going to revert. And by revert, meaning this is going to catch up, right? So that's really what you're looking for. You're looking for some backfill here. Now, is that going to happen because AMD is not allowed to sell chips in China because their chips are too strong? Maybe, right? I mean, that's the one that I would be looking at, shorting today. That's for sure, because their dreams of selling a chip there are pretty much dead until they figure it out. So, I mean, I would definitely be looking at this, because a lot of people that bought this because they were going to be able to sell this fast chip to China, well, their hopes and dreams got smashed today, right? Okay, so this is down a little bit further than it should be. And so what we're going to do is just going to go in here and just go extended and look at that, right? And so just want to watch how that's trading this morning and where you're at. And of course, you have these little anomalies now that they just keep playing with. But when you start seeing like 7 o'clock, you start breaking that 7 o'clock level, right, which you're starting to break, well, you're going to have a problem here, I think, okay, with AMD today. And I think the beneficiary of this is really NVIDIA, because they have a product that they can sell to China. It's just not as good as they want it, as China would want it, but it's still a product. And that's something to think about. But I think China's got bigger issues, candidly. I think that they have much bigger issues. And it's definitely something that that I'm looking at. Give me 1 second. Sorry. So I'm looking at this and going, okay, so this is good for them, right? So that's something that I'd watch today. I think there's definitely a trade there. Like, to me, the easiest trade to do today is literally short AMD. I'm just going to tell you what it is, because I think it's so simple. I actually might just start picking at it now, because they're just going to knock the legs out of this thing, I think. But to me, the easiest trade is you just short AMD and you just go long, you just short AMD and then just go long NVIDIA against it. I mean, that just seems like it's going to make the most sense out of everything that's going on out there right now. So that's kind of where my head is with it anyway. Give me a second here. But I'm actually putting trades on as we're talking. But so when I start to see this kind of stuff, it's definitely of interest to me, and it's definitely something I'd be paying attention to. Like, if you can't, if your major driver just went away and you just went up from 180 to 210 because of your major driver, and your major driver is not there, right? You might have a problem. Just saying. So, but it does benefit. Just to be clear, it does benefit NVIDIA. All right, so let's talk about MS. I don't want to go there yet. Let's talk about MSTR, because there's a bunch of names you have to talk about. And I got to just let somebody, give me a second, 1 second. I just got to let them know something. And so, yeah, there it goes. There you go. Go to your home. Excellent. Boom. Who's a winner? I am. All right. So if you see what's going on with MicroStrategies, I mean, you have to look at it this way. Like, all of a sudden, he's in a position here where he's selling Bitcoin, right? He's basically selling his company at a huge premium to the market. He's going to take the money that he's selling at a premium to the market. He's going to go out there and he's going to buy more Bitcoin, and he's going to get them to give him money at like 1 to 2% to go buy Bitcoin, that then they're then going to go and buy more Bitcoin. And then the Bitcoin will go up and he will own more Bitcoin. Then the stock will go up again and he'll trade at a premium. Then you know what he's going to do? He's going to do another secondary. And then you know what he's going to do? He's going to buy more Bitcoin. He's never going to sell Bitcoin. You got to get that through. Ever going to sell the Bitcoin, like ever. He's just going to control it. It's actually really brilliant what he's doing. And I don't think people have truly figured it out yet. When does it end? It ends when people stop buying Bitcoin. Until then, it's just not going to end. It will be what it is. Okay. And so, and he'll just go down with the ship when the ship goes down, but that could be 10 years from now or 5 years from now, or it could be Tuesday. You don't know. Remember, Bitcoin pricing now is out of, mainstream's hands. It's up to BlackRock what happens to Bitcoin now, to a certain extent. So just FYI. but let's just see how this plays out. But I mean, of all the names, I like this one the most, but I can't buy it here. I mean, yesterday was the first day, even with the closing at a high, that I didn't buy calls because the calls were just ridiculous. Even this day, I think we bought the 1100s and we got a double off the open on them. Like every day we've been making money off the calls, like literally almost every single day, except one where I got cute, tried to short it, and that didn't work. Ask me how that worked. It didn't. So now the question becomes, okay, so what do you do with it here? I don't think there's much to do with it. I think it goes sideways until the secondary prices. The one that doesn't make sense to me at all, and someone can tell me why, but this just keeps going up and up and up. I don't need them anymore. There's no real value to the company, in my opinion. And I sound like so grumpy, like a hater, but I just don't get it. But I just think that people are shorted, and therefore it'll just keep doing this until it pops, and then people will go from there and they'll get out of their own way. That's what I think will happen. But I do think you're setting up for some kind of sideways action at best here on the market. And, we'll see. I don't know. But China's a problem, guys. I mean, this is China. This is a real problem. Take your time. So, all right, that conference call probably is going well. Target had a great call. But I think that people are they're getting over giddy here. And it doesn't mean that you're going to collapse, but it does mean that you might go sideways for a little bit here. And I think that that's one of the things that you're going to, people are going to have to pay attention to, like, okay, well, how much are we going to, how much are we going to go down, and how much is this going to continue to drop? And there's a lot of moving parts to this. So we have to watch it. But I shorted this yesterday. I did not carry the short overnight because you don't know what you're going to step into. Life's like a box of chocolates. I could come up and, could be up 100 points because someone sneezed. So I have puts, and they should be okay off the open. But I look at something like this, and I do have a short Microstrategies. I should probably disclose that. But I do look at something like this and go, all right, well, you got ahead of yourself, sure, but you're going to go sideways and you're going to find a range up here, right? Forget these moving averages. So I just think you have to look at it from the standpoint of, I don't think the move is over, but you're certainly seeing rotation and you're certainly seeing new leaders, right? So that's where I think that we have to go. And I think that that's what we have to look at and kind of figure that part of it out, right? That's kind of where my head is with it right now. And I think that that's where it's most important for us to kind of get a sense of, all right, so we have that. We know AMD benefits from NVIDIA. We know Target had good numbers, right? No, be slower. Take your time. This system's so slow lately. And it's TradingView. It's not, I looked into it. It's not me. It's TradingView. I don't know why, but it is. And I would really watch the Apple today because this is really bad. I mean, it's not that you're not first anymore. You're fourth in China. You're fourth in phone sales. See, the problem with this is everything from a technology standpoint, it always comes out of the East, right? So it's not that it's just China that's having this. It's that what will happen over time is that whatever they're doing in China or they're doing in the East or they're doing in Korea, whatever their technology is, eventually it makes it over here. And when that happens, Apple's got problems. Apple becomes BlackBerry. And it's not an if, it's a when. We don't know if it's 5 years from now or when it is. And they have us all ingratiated in their system. You don't want to date somebody unless they have the blue bubble, all that stuff. But you'll hit a point where it will become like a BlackBerry. And I understand there's more to it than that. I get it. And I know that I go on my extremes, but you have to understand that they have a massive, massive problem right now. And they should have held 80 and they didn't. And forget these moving averages, but just look at this for a moment. And I'm going to have to leave this in until I straighten all this stuff out. But you look at how this is going. Let's get rid of the RSI. But look at how this is going. I mean, that's a disaster. You can't even get over the 12. We went long in it. And I think it's important to talk about the losses as well as the wins so that you guys get this. And that's why you always cut your winners or, you cut your losers super fast. But when you start to see this, what's going on there, right? You can't get over the 12, the 22 sloping down. Look at this. I mean, this could be in a textbook. If I ever wrote a textbook, I should write a textbook. Had to be awesome. So anyway, you see how this is going? So there's the 12, the 22. You already cracked that. You see it right here? So what's next? The 55. Oh, good. Apple's going to have a death cross. So like how's that going to play out for the market? Well, it's probably not going to be good, right? When you have the single largest company, the S&P. So you're probably going to go sideways and you're going to rotate through sectors. And that brings us to what I think that we should be focused on. If this market's going to continue higher, you're going to need new leadership. Okay. I think it's going to be XLC. And then I start to see this, and I'm having trouble with 500, right? So that becomes like a all right. But maybe it's just them, because this just looked like it was going to rip people's faces off yesterday and pulled back. So the question really, the question that I'm looking at is, are we going to go sideways or are we going to come down? I think we're going to go sideways and find different spots and different places for capital, right? But when I look at yesterday, everything came in. It wasn't one thing. And when you start seeing like even the consumer discretionary come in, right? See how like I'm pointing at the screen, like you can see my finger. You see like the consumer discretionary comes in, right? And then at the same time, tech comes in, and then you go and say, well, maybe they went into defensive. Yep, they went to defensive. You want to make sure they're going somewhere, because if you ever look at all the indexes, pay attention to this. If you ever look at all the indexes and all the sectors are down, you want to get out of the way, because that means they don't care what it is. They don't think anything is safe, and they're going to get out. So where are they going? They're going to defensive names. Are they buying the Utes? 2 Utes. So they're buying the Utes. They're going out there. They're buying themselves a little Southern company, right? They're buying a little Duke, right? Okay. See where the money's going? Okay. Do you buy those kinds of names if you think things are going to go higher or lower? You buy those kinds of names if you want to be defensive, right? That's why you'd buy Procter & Gamble. Why would you buy a soap company if you can go out there and buy an AI company? Because you think the market's going down. Or you think it's going to adjust in some way, right? That's why you would do that. That's it. Tesla can't sell cars. 14-month low in China. It's going lower. Who knows how much lower? It's right. You always got to look at the market, man, and see what it's telling you. We were long this the other day, and I got out. We got out right in here. And I'll tell you why we did. It hit it 5 times, like 4 or 5 times in there. It was crazy. So it is what it is. But for me, I would watch Tesla and I would watch Apple on the short side today. I think that these are going to be disasters. They're probably going to rally because everybody loves them, and then they'll roll later. And this AMD news is bad because you just went up 20 points because of something, and that no longer exists. So that could probably hurt the semis today, but it's good news for NVIDIA. And that's why I think the pair trade makes sense, but it is what it is. So, all right, let's get to questions. I hope that was helpful. Good morning. Good morning. AMT. You're a REIT, right? Yeah. I mean, I like the REITs a lot here, like a lot. They're really like, it's not sexy, guys. I mean, it's not, but they look great. They look really, really good. I got to see something here. Excuse me for 1 second, guys. I got a bunch of stuff on here. They look great. They really do look great, man. It's really hard to tell you to not look at these names right now. Even the other one, did you look at this one, Cam? Do you think about this one at all? This one for the data centers and what's going on? You might want to look at this one. I don't know what all these arrows are. I was doing something. God only knows what. But you might want to look at this one. It's a REIT, right? So, I mean, look at this. Boom. That might be ahead of itself. The AMT I like a lot. That makes sense. It actually makes sense. Must be 9 o'clock. John's blowing my DMs up. I see it, John. Is it 9? It's 9:01. Phew, good Lord. Man, maybe I should just bring somebody in the office and actually get an office again. What do you got here? All right, so hide that. Car. Let's do car. And what's up, Bob? Good morning, buddy. Yeah, volume. I'm going to do this super fast, guys. I'm going to have to make sure that I do these faster. Yeah, you want to look at that, dude. You definitely want to look at that. Look at this. Look how perfect that is, Cam. Nice find, buddy. Look at that. That's really, yeah. We always clone them. Why do we clone them? Because we want the same trajectory, right? That just makes sense. Yeah, I like that a lot. I do. I like that a lot. I like the AMT a lot too. Yeah, I think you got some issues here, dude. I think you have some issues, John, in the market. I'm going to cover these two. PSTG. This was not on my radar, and that was my mistake that this was not on my radar. This looks really good and had really good earnings. And it benefits greatly from what's going on in the world right now, right? And then you just look at this base. Look at this base. So I saw some of the comments on last night's video, like doing the P&Ls and things like that. I'm not going to do it all the time every day, guys, but when I do trades, I am going to start showing more trades. I'm definitely getting requests for that, to see more trades. I'm more than happy to do it. I think it's important for you guys to see that stuff. I think it's very helpful. A lot of comments, people were just like, wow, I can't believe that, you're not showing me an 80% win rate. Like, no one has an 80% win rate, except the guy trying to sell you a bot for $150. All right. I like that you're extended. This could be a beast. And I had a position and I blew it out and took the easy money. This can be a beast. This is your first quarter, from what I can see. This is your first profitable quarter. Okay. When you go profitable, like I'm pretty sure I'm right in that statement. When you go profitable and you have your first profitable quarter, you get a whole litany of people. I want to make sure that I'm right in my statement here. I think I'm right. I think it's the first profitable quarter. You get a whole litany of people that, now maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. I want to see if I'm right or not. I don't want to tell you something that's wrong. Yeah, I think I'm right. I don't think they've ever had a profitable quarter before this one. When you might want to check that and just double check what I'm saying. If that's the case, you want to look at this. Now, I'm not going to buy that here, but if it pulls back to this little level, if I could get like 13.5, like if I could get here or something like that, or maybe 50% of this bar, I would be very interested in that name. But IHI, I want to do that. IHI. I don't have time for questions today. It's frustrating. I've been watching this a lot. Are you watching this? You watching strikers? Look at these names. These names are on fire. I've been watching all of them. I like that space a lot. I'm going to get to everybody that's here before 8:30. Fast no. I think you're a little extended here. PGR. So these things trade around, don't they? I mean, you're a little extended for me. I would need to pull back on that. I would tell you the IHI names, the strikers, the BSXs, you should look at that. What's up, Rob? No, avoid. They have major problems. It's only getting worse. Like the fact that they're not even doing the damage control that they need to do over what happened. Then someone filmed them fixing the problem, and that was even worse. Just avoid. Apple's got real issues, dude. Apple has like real issues. I don't know where it trades today. I'm short. I'm not doing great with the short right now, but they have real problems. I just think that's them playing around. Who wants risk? Who doesn't want risk? You got crowd coming out tonight too. You got to be careful shorting that. But I mean, I'm telling you got to be careful shorting it, and then I'm short it. So I don't know if that's the best advice. I am short it, but I did it yesterday in the 11:15s. Trading mindset. You want to read Trading in the Zone. I did go through some books the other day. Could you recommend some books that are good for trading? Maybe also trading mindset. Yeah. I mean, it depends what you want. I'm not going to go through a bunch. I should do a video on this. I get so many questions on it. Maybe we'll do it like one night. Maybe we'll just do it live and we'll go through great books. And I'll show you books and stuff. But I would read Trading in the Zone. I would start there. Mental Skills. There's a really good book. But start with Trading in the Zone and go from there. But I can give you a litany of books, dude. Like I'm a huge reader. I think anybody needs to be a reader. I think you need to be getting better and better all the time. And it doesn't even have to just be trading books. There's other like just good mindset books. What time is it? It will apply to the markets. You're 100% right, Flutes. I don't know why you would be going long those names. I can't think of any institutional guy out there that's going, good news. Apple's fourth in China. We need to buy more. Like, I just don't see it. Use it going to be a disaster, I think. I think Use going to be an absolute, utter disaster. I mean, they hung their hopes on this Vision Pro thing, right? I mean, you know, I've said it before. Guys want a girlfriend. You're not getting a girlfriend walking around with that thing on your head. I don't like it. I mean, I don't like, I mean, I'm not a fan. What's up, Justin? I don't like it. What's up, Paul? How you been? Yeah, to long positions, it's usually that week. It's usually at the money weeklies. It depends, dude. It depends. I could do a whole video on it. Sometimes it's at a key level. I think it should hold. That's a real long question, dude. Like I did the 80s on VKTX when the stock was at 85. And there was a reason I did that because I wanted Delta expansion. Super DWAC, no interest. Do you think of KRA now? I like the fitness idea. Can you help a lot of traders and sitters? I would love to help. Yeah, I think so too, dude. I do. I think we should be doing something like that, like a live stream. I don't think people get the things. Like, I don't think, Tone, like, here's my thought. I don't think people are getting the things that are holding them back. And I think that they think that it's just a technical indicator. Please like the video, or I'm going to send Jesse to your house. Dell got to get over 124 and change. What time is it? Jay, I don't got time. I'll do them in the room, Jay. Good morning. There she is. Who's the winner? Jeannie is. The freaking I know. I was hoping someone would let it slide. I was hoping someone was going to let that slide. I'm like, boy, did I just butcher those two analogies together. I need more coffee, man. I'm not going to lie. I need more coffee. Late night last night. Was up till like 11, probably doing onboarding calls and looking at charts. And then I get up at like 5. But I was floored yesterday. I was exhausted. Good morning. Thanks, AT, for the lessons. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad it's going. It's cool to see you progress, man. It's really cool to see you progress in there. The Shadow Realm's good. What's wrong with the Shadow Realm? That's what I think, too. That's exactly what I was thinking. Nancy's like, no, AMD can't do that. We can't have that AMD chip because that's going to affect my NVIDIA calls. Yeah, please hit the like button. Well, trade them, dude. Like, trade the altcoins. Just because I hate them doesn't mean that you can't make money off of them, right? Like, seriously. I mean, just trade them. You're going to go up? How about I short more? How about that? How's that going to work? You don't like that? Okay. I got the voice of an angel. It's going to be good or bad. I mean, I have no idea. Intel, I would avoid. Yeah, nice trade, dude. 2 Utes. Yeah, that's going to be a big number. ISM. What's up, Sneed? Rotation seems to be in bear funds right now. Yeah, I own Oxy, but Exxon, I agree with Exxon. I think you're smart there right now. I don't think it's a bad idea to just be a little like chill, right? Trading the Zone's a great book. It depends. Sometimes I don't get out of them. Sometimes I let them go to 0. Like I had these VKTX puts, Paul. I just let them go to 0. I could have cared less because it kept me in the trade. They were like the 80s and I just wanted the protection, right? I wanted to stay in this trade, right? Because I thought it would go back to 85. I got more than 85 clearly, but like this day I was in the 80s. I still had the 80s and I had all that stock on, right? And then I come in and then it gaps up and then it closes here at 85 on Friday, but it kept me in the trade the whole time, right? So I let them go worthless, even though at one point they were worth $6, but it kept me, I was able to like buy more puts, right? Because I was more concerned about the delta. So like here, what time is it? All right, I'll do a quick, Paul. So like the delta was 50 when I bought them, like it was 85, right? So then it goes to 80. Okay, then it goes to 77. So the delta is expanding when that's happening, right? And then what I do is now I'm actually making money when they're dropping. I actually sold a couple puts, not a lot, like a couple orders, doesn't matter how many. And then I bought more stock against the puts. So I basically couldn't lose money, right? At that point, I was getting in the stock for what the cost of the puts were. It's basically a riskless trade. And then you're long. And then I just stayed long. And then I just stayed long the whole position over the weekend. Right. And then I made a decision when it hit 94 and change to alleviate some of that. I hope that helps. But yeah, I don't think that's the worst idea, dude. Cash, to raise a little cash right now. I can get into more of it later, dude. I can't do it all now. And I'm not doing it justice. It'd be really cool to do that like on a live call where we could bond even more. All right, I got to go. I got to hop in the room. Trade to win today, guys. Make good choices, as I tell my son.